The time is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on T Solid Radio. I am Joy Akin Olamigoke. First, the major headline. Federal government to end 30 billion naira monthly electricity subsidy next year. Federal government, UNICEF, expanded schemes to upskill 20 million young Nigerians, says Osibajo. And on the foreign scene, Senegal hospitals overwhelmed by COVID patients. And on the world of sport, Nima Bakar Satu legal dispute. And moving on to the news in details. The federal government will next year and hand most of its subsidy payment in the electricity sector, estimated at 30 billion naira monthly. Vice President Yemi Osibajo, who disclosed this at the opening of the 14th Nigerian Association for Energy Economics (IAEE) conference in Abuja yesterday, said the government expected the electricity sector to generate its revenue from the power sector market. Professor Osinbajo, who was represented by the Special Assistant to the President on Infrastructure, Engineer Ahmad Zakari, noted that government would be investing over $3 billion in the coming years to improve transmission and distribution infrastructure across the country. He explained that the efforts of President Muhammad's Buhari administration to reform the energy sector would ensure that it continues to play a critical role in the growth of the country's social and economic well-being. He said as the electricity sector continued to be stabilized, more power was needed for the country's large population. Osinbajo then charged the participants to come up with solutions to key energy challenges facing the country, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic and energy transition. And the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation have disclosed that its agency are working hard to ensure the Nigerian military becomes self-reliant in the production of hardware to contain insecurity. The minister, Dr. Ogbunaya Ono, stated this yesterday at a mini trade fair for the official visits of the Organization for Military Sport in Africa to the ministry. He said in the near future, the military in Nigeria would not have to rely on foreign countries for hardware to contain the insecurity that has been ravaging the country. The minister in its statement said within the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, they have 17 agencies where all agencies are interested in making sure that they help the nation to grow in self-reliance. He, however, added that they have to encourage young people to study science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to help the country develop. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo disclosed on Monday in Abuja that no fewer than 20 million young Nigerians would be impacted with digital skills through an initiative of the federal government and the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. Osinbajo's spokesman, Laolu Akonde, in a statement said this was part of a pre-recorded message delivered by the Vice President at the official launch of the Generation Unlimited program in Nigeria. GenU is a global multi-sector partnership initially launched in September 2018 in collaboration with over 200 partners and impacts on over 100 million young people globally through innovations and programs in more than 40 countries across 6 continents. Osinbajo said that the initiative, which offered expanded education, training and employment targeting 20 million Nigerians from age between 10 and 24 from 2021 to 2030, would positively impact the country's future job growth enabling programs. The Vice President commended private sector partners such as Airtel, the Tony Elumelu Foundation, among others, for their innovative work with young entrepreneurs throughout the country and for their commitment to GenU Nigeria. are still listening to the midday news on T Solid Radio. Still to come is the foreign and sport news. Do remember to download our app T Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our various social media platforms on our T Solid Radio TV. And on the foreign scene, Senegal's health ministry is warning the hospitals in the capital, Dakar, are becoming overwhelmed due to a surge in COVID-19 cases, where infection has soared over the past month from a few dozen a day to around 1,700 daily cases. A senior public health official and medical staff in the city was burned out that almost 99% of hospital beds were occupied, while laboratories have also been struggling to cope with a rising demand for tests. Meanwhile, reports have said that the president, Macky Sall, may be forced to impose tighter restrictions to limit the spread of the virus. The head of the United Nations mission to South Sudan has said it is deeply concerned by the spate of extrajudicial extradition in the country. The special representative of the United Nations Secretary General and of head of UNMISS Nicholas Haysom said on Monday the 42 execution of people who were accused of criminal activities but not given a fair trial had been documented in 2 states. The victims were allegedly removed from prison to police custody and brought before local officials for sentencing. Mr. Haysom called the killings deeply disturbing, hardened. People accused of crimes have the right to a fair trial as part of a formal judicial process. He then urged South Sudanese authorities to investigate and prosecute those responsible for the executions. Tunisian President Kais Saied has ordered a nighttime curfew for the next month, a day after he suspended parliament. He also sacked more government ministers in the wake of the dismissal of Prime Minister Ikem Mechichi. The president has denied accusation by the biggest political party, Ennahda, that he carried out a coup. He insisted that he had acted according to the constitution. Mr. Said has, however, urged people not to take to the streets or protest, saying the greatest danger was an internal explosion. A spokesman from the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, said the United Nations has expressed its concern about the development, saying all dispute and disagreement should be resolved through dialogue. Police in Zambia have warned political parties against flouting COVID-19 guidelines as campaign intensify ahead of the August 12th general election. The country's electoral body had banned rallies, allowing only door-to-door campaigns as part of the COVID-19 regulation. But both the governing party and opposition leaders have been holding rallies under the guise of distributing face masks to their supporters, who were often not observing social distancing. Zambia Police Chief Kakoma Kanguja said he expected police officers to use force in bringing order in the country. And moving on to the world of sports, Barcelona have reached an out-of-court agreement with their former player Neymar to end the legal dispute in amicable fashion. Brazil forward Neymar, who is 29, claimed Barca refused to pay him €37.2 million in old loyalty bonuses after his €200 million move to Paris Saint-Germain in 2017. Barca then started legal proceedings to get him to pay back the €8 million he received when he signed a new deal in 2016. Last June, a Spanish court ordered Neymar to pay Barca €6.1 million, but reports said he had appealed against the decision and launched a new case, which is now void. And finally, on the media news, Weightlifter Hidlin Diaz on Monday won the Philippines' first ever Olympic gold medal at the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. The Olympic gold medal has eluded the Southeastern Asian country since it made its debut at the 1924 Paris Olympic. Diaz won gold in the 55 kilogram category of women's weightlifting, and she has also set an Olympic record with her combined weight total of 224 kilograms across two successful lifts. The gold medal brawl came down to Diaz's last lift, where she slugged it out with China's Liao Qiyun, the world record holder in the event. Both Diaz and Liao lifted 97 kilograms in their first round snatch lifts. For the clean and jerk, which followed, Liao lifted 126 kilograms, nearly 278 pounds, while Diaz responded by lifting 127 kilograms, another Olympic record, which finally broke the Philippines' gold drought. And with that, we've come to the end of the news. A recap of the major headlines. Federal government to end 30 billion naira monthly electricity subsidy next year. Federal government, UNICEF expanded schemes to upskill to 20 million young Nigerians, says Osibajo. And on the foreign scene, I read Senegal hospitals overwhelmed by COVID patients. And on the world of sports, Nima Baka settle legal disputes. Ensure to go by all precautionary measures to stay safe from COVID-19 as recommended by the World Health Organization and the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Do remember to download our app T-Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our various social media platforms in our T-Solid Radio TV. The news was compiled and edited by Oloro Nishala Mary Omolafe. I am Joy Akin Olamigoke. Good afternoon, many thanks for listening.